My friend Lindsay told me that I burp all the time, and she didn't really tell me. She kind of scolded me, which was gross. I didn't know that I was doing it. Well, first of all, I mean, I did sneeze all over her at a party, and that was by accident. I mean, it was totally by accident. And then she said, at least you're not burping on me anymore. I'm always downwind. And this was in a room of 40 people. And I was like, okay, accurate.
Thanks,
but also,
Liz.
I don't really want, that's not who I want to be. I got so much changing to do. All right.
Oh my God! In a mixed room of people, she told you that? Okay, all right, hold on.
Mixed room, people and cyborgs.
Athletes embarrass, TV renaissance, and what empties your cup? All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, Melissa. So I guess you tuned into those other podcasts for uplifting inspirational content. Here, we're talking about draining the cup. We're not filling your cup. We're going to drain it. Let's go.
Yeah, is that me? Or just me, everyone? Just me?
There's a lot of really popular podcasts where the women are just so angry. I think one of the podcast names of a very popular podcast is, Shit We Hate or something. And it's these two women who are kind of like us, but they sit and they have a very nice setup. So clearly they have money and backers and support and that,
money.
Share of audience, all the things that one would presume you have when you embark on such an endeavor. And all they do is sit around and complain about stuff. And I don't see the appeal. Who wants to listen to people? Like, if I want to hear people complaining about stuff, I will go in my kitchen and summon my teens. I don't need a podcast for this. They are happy to tell me all the stuff I didn't do for them. So that's the sum total. Why'd you make it this way? Where's the this a thing? Yippee, yippee, yappy, yappa. I don't need two ladies to tell me what they don't like. Yes.
Because we used to have a segment that was shit we hate.
Well, it's just
people we hate, shit we hate. And I
like
will tell you.
I like the yes.
And because of that, it fell by the wayside.
Oh, because
What's up, wayside?
Did I not?
Because we didn't have... We did not want to be those people, so we can choose not to listen to that specific podcast.
Yes, and no shade to them. Have fun. Go do your thing. But it honestly, it's doubly off-putting to me because they are super echelon-y, right? They're very well put together. They are drippy with all of the trappings of wealth. So they sit from this position of obvious visible privilege, and they want to go like I don't need to go to the palace and listen to the princesses complaining. Like,
who's
that's
the
a little
target
bit
audience for that then?
I don't know. I guess
Okay.
other people like them who are just so. It was like, do you ever watch that show Succession?
Did you ever watch that show, The Real Housewives of Anywhere?
Ever watch that show Star Wars? No. Did you ever?
Yes.
Did you ever have that? Did you ever know that fast food chain is called Taco Bell?
Something noisy.
Did you ever watch Succession? There's a mother character.
Yeah.
Their mother is just a train wreck. She's. It's hard to think of a worse character than any of them because they're all so bad, and yet she is legitimately the worst. And it stands out to me. It had nothing to do with the plot. They arrive to her villa in Italy, and they enter, and her greeting upon entering is like, welcome, welcome. It's still the same, leaky as ever, full of holes. That's
Really?
her welcome to my home in Italy.
How do you feel? Obligated.
Right.
Like,
It's like,
I
what
was
are you
raised by
doing?
that. I was raised
Ugh.
by that. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not for me. I don't like it.
The reason I ask what empties your cup
Yes.
is because we know what fills your cup.
We do?
Yeah, I know what fills your cup. But
Okay, cool.
I will tell you, I put this on the board for today because I saw a TikTok of a guy who said, I put up with my wife's bullshit and it just builds. She does this, she does that, she says this. And all the things he's mentioning are part of being in a relationship. But okay. So he says all of these things that my wife does that piss me off. And then as he's making it a visual of a cup, the cup is filling about how annoyed he is and how fed up he is. And I can't believe she did this and she spent money on that. And can you believe she did over and all of these things. And then he says, and do you know what empties that cup? I fuck her and it's over.
Ew,
she jerks
where
me.
I thought, God.
She jerks me and the cup is empty again. And I think, hey, buddy.
God.
Hey, buddy. A conversation, it could work too. But what do you do that empties her cup of what you've filled with all of your annoying
I
bullshit?
did not have specimen cup on the agenda as the thing that we were going to be. I mean, for fuck's sake. Here, I thought this was going to be some wholesome, beautiful, I'm catching myself as this anger cup is filling. And then all of a sudden, she comes by and says something like, thank you for doing this, or here is a photo of the kids that I wanted to be sure you saw, or
that wouldn't be enough for this guy.
Washed your sheet, or whatever. I mean, I don't know what the fuck, anything at all. And then all of a sudden he could go, poof, oh, that's right. Or she just walks past me and I happen to be in her presence for a few minutes and realize, oh, right, I'm blissfully in love with this person whose sole purpose is to help all of us get better. I am so excited and so grateful. And no, instead, the whole thing is I'm an angry fucking troll who has a hate cup until it spilleth over with my spooge.
Yes.
And I'm not really interested in anything that this douche has to say. Okay.
All right, now we're on the same page.
I don't think that's a Deepak Chopra-esque moment. Okay.
I will repeat.
Melissa
our
Gilbert
TikToks
has different advice for you than this.
I will say our TikToks are different, our feeds.
God.
But knowing that this troll is out there, I come to it saying, I don't give a fuck about your hate cup. What empties your wife's hate cup? Because she has to live with you, and you are the person who's keeping
just
track
covered in ick, inside, outside, sticky fingered, gross. Pass. It's a full hard pass. That's a bye bye. No, no. See, and okay. I don't want to derail us, and yet somehow I feel
I'll go with
it
you.
is
Take me
it is the expectation of others that I do so because it is so frequent. Okay. How do you come across this content? Is the only thing that I mean, why do you seek it out? You don't like it? It's meanie. It doesn't fit
know
you.
where he was going.
It's not part of your soul. You don't have sticky muck cup filled attraction vibes. So I don't know why
I don't.
But what algorithmically are you sending out to say
Josh and Mama? That's
okay. When you sent me another video of these train wrecks,
beef.
Stop it. Now she's making. I turned it off. I wouldn't even watch it. The only reason that because I'm like, I can't have this hate speech, this culinary hate speech coming at me
in the world too.
Meanwhile, simply engaging with it for long enough to deflect it. Now I'm getting parody accounts where real cooks are using these recipes and saying, let me see if I can trick you. Because what she was doing, I presume, with floating Ritz crackers in a Dutch oven filled with water. Okay.
To make apple pie.
She was making a mock apple pie. And newsflash, if you have the ingredients to make most of the pie except the apples, you can acquire the apples. Like you're not, we're not in the Depression. And P.S. crackers are more expensive than apples now. I don't know what was going on in the Depression, but now apples are fucking crazy expensive and crazy. First of all, everything crazy expensive. But the crackers are so expensive, it's shocking to me. It makes one wish to make their own crackers. And that is a sad place for us to be. That said, now I've got people boiling Ritz crackers, making it into because the crackers themselves, once soaked and seasoned, make up the body of this pie that has a crumble top, so that people are basically eating a cooked pastry bottom, crumble top, and a sweet, some sort of textural apple-adjacent interior, and they have forgotten what real apples taste like, or pie. So they eat it and look at this person who they formerly trusted and said, wow, what is this?
Right.
And she says, what do you think it is? If that's the answer to something you've just fed me, I'm out. I don't.
You're questioning.
What do you think it is? Now I'm eating somebody's organ meat. I'm eating a sliver of brain. Like I don't have to. You don't have to.
I don't want to play that game.
I don't want to play that game.
I don't want to play that game.
I really want easily identifiable food. I don't think that's a bridge too far. To be honest with you, I should know what it is. Doesn't have to be gourmet. Just has to be identifiable.
Recognizable.
Yes!
On first sight, maybe, or even second sight. Maybe first sight, one hint. Come on, work with me.
It is. And you did this to us. You did this to us. Okay? And now you're threatening. So first of all, I cock blocked Josh and his mom both, so I didn't have to see or have any of this shit. And then Food 52 picked up the slack.
Oh shit!
TikTok was like, TikTok was like, do you know what? We're gonna get her. We eyes on target, people.
Detonate.
Okay. Now,
Impact.
to my shame, spoken out loud with my phone in the room. Okay. Now, I have to say, no spooge cup hate man content. Okay? I don't want it. I don't want to know what you're filling any vessel with or draining it. I'm not interested in it. There should be no liquid containment around me. Just stop. Go somewhere else. Okay? Jerk it somewhere else.
Leaving TikTok on the wayside, if we left it behind, which we will never do, but for the purpose of this specific conversation, is there something in your life that you do when everybody has complained about all of your hard work and everybody, like, let's look at Christmas, which, believe it or not, is around the corner and it's beginning to piss me off. But when you wrap everything perfectly and the kids and everybody opens and like, why is this so hard to open? And your thought with stars in your eyes is, I did a really good job. Wait, are you insulting me now? Like you were proud of or you were going along with and how do you empty your cup is really my question. How do you go from to how do you do it?
Thank you for clarifying because I thought you were describing what is the pin to my balloon. And I don't really know. That's not what this is. This is instead when you are teetering on the edge of I will murder you all, then it's like, oh, okay, got it.
How do you do that? What's your...
I wish I knew because I would practice it more intentionally.
That's good.
So I am trying. So, I mean, I do. So
that's a good point.
Time was... when and not long ago in the recent time was-isness, right? We're talking 4 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. Yelling was out of control. So pre-COVID, just right? When everybody was in the house, I worked a lot of hours with somebody who had terrible social habits, who was immature in conversation. And this was just somebody, a professional colleague who I was obligated to spend some time around. And all of those habits, I went into the relationship thinking, do you know what? I'm just going to make this person better. That's what I'm going to do. And invariably, lie down with dog.
What a wonderful outlook.
Lie down with dog, get fleas. Yeah, so I somehow thought I'm going to lie down with the flea dog and then magically all the fleas will leave and we'll just be two happy dogs. Like, what did I think? So instead, picked up a lot of habits. And I just, over time, I noticed, short-tempered. I noticed I was yelling a lot when yelling was like shocking. In the same way that time was to say shut up in your household would be the most stunning thing that you would ever hear. And now it's like looking directly at the child and saying full-throated, fuck you.
Mouth.
Yes. So it's like, we've come a long way, baby. Yeah.
The times they are a-changing.
Okay. So just to speed through all of that stuff, picked up a lot of bad habits. And in the process, sort of becoming aware of how far have I come since when we were toddlers and I was committed to never saying a swear word around you to now I will spell them on your spelling test with you. Like, I don't get how this is, like, I don't want to be that. That's not where I want to be. So it was consciously trying to, all I can do is separate. So I will leave. If all I'm going to do is yell, I will go in the other room, close the door. I would rather not be here if I'm going to be yelling or be yelled at. And then that turned into nobody's going to be yelling in here. Kids are not going to be raising their voices. So it was this long, long walk of very intentional. Let's just take it back to where it needs nuclear, de-escalation or whatever they call it, whatever the opposite of proliferation is when they wanted to,
You de-escalate. Yeah.
Yeah. So but they're built, so it's always trickier. So the goal, of course, is to not get that way in the first place. And when you talk about how do I de-ickify my, overwhelming cup, it again, I am looking for all of those strategies and employing them buckshot method, right? I don't have the one that's an instant. I do love and practice when I remember it, attribute it to the Navy SEALs or attribute it to that
all the time you spent in the Navy
burnout
SEALs?
Or attribute it to Olympic swimmers, attribute it to whatever performance technique you want to attribute to psychotherapists, whoever you want to attribute it to. but it's a physiological response, right? You cannot be off kilter, unbalanced, angry, afraid, anxious when you are breathing
Whistling.
slowly. When you're sort of. So it's this idea of like your body is not having like this crazy, chaotic, high intensity fight response when you are at rest. So the way to get there very quickly is you take in a giant gulp of air very quickly, like a shallow, like a deep, quick, like this, and then a very long, deep breath, hold it, and then blow it out. And so it's forcing your body to breathe slowly and calm itself down, like calm your nervous system down. I'm not describing this very well, but you get it.
No, you're taking yourself physically out of fight, flight, or freeze. You are
so there's no
involuntary things voluntarily, so that your body does not think fuck. It thinks fuck. Oh, I know this. I'm going to go in and I'm going to go out. So you're physically interrupting.
Right. And I came up with this the other day because I actually said it to someone, and I'm going to keep repeating it because it really saves me in a lot of conversations and interactions with the rest of the world. And that is, I can't describe how gravity works to you. It doesn't mean gravity doesn't fucking work, and you already know it. So just trust me when I tell you this is scientifically proven, blah, blah. Like, I'm not getting the science right in this conversation, but the science is still fucking right. Like, I'm not being tested on the science. I'm just telling you that this fucking works. So do that.
I'm not a scientist. I'm someone who figured it out and appreciaes it. So, all right.
The bulk of my life is that science backs up my bullshit about in terms of, vibrational frequency and law of abundance and all this kind of stuff. But I do love this notion of consciously trying to sort of stop something in its tracks, pivot, move on to the next one, and to just calm the fuck down and slow the fuck down. And another thing that I saw, I'm calling Buddhist delight, which is one of these mind tricks that is so awesome, okay? Because you can think of every situation boils down into one of two, it's binary, one of two situations. This situation is beyond my control, okay? I can't control any part of it. I have zero control in this situation. So it doesn't make any sense to be angry about it, doesn't make any sense to worry about it. Doesn't make any sense at all to have a reaction to it because I can't control any fucking part of it. So I'm going to go on with my day. Period. I have zero control. So I'm going to float down that river and just be okay with it. If I do have control over the situation, if the opposite is true, right, then why am I angry about it? Why am I worried about it? Because I have control over it. So I'm going to float down this river and do something for it or to it or be happy about it. So the idea of worry and anger, there is no logical reason for either one of them, right? They're just responses to a situation that either is or isn't. So they're not getting you anything other than I'm going to be angry because anger is what I will be. Like, it's not, it doesn't do
now
it.
I'm going to have to start breathing again with intent, and I'm going to have to. You are giving me a perfect segue. Last night, we are driving to the Sixers game because we now have season tickets. Great. So we're going to the Sixers game, and we got parking from the venue, so they sent us that email. Oh, we got off at the wrong exit. We need to turn and go. Oh, that's closed. Oh, we're in Philadelphia. Oh, barricades. That's closed. And this is the week we're at the end of election season.
Thank you. I was like, how can you go anywhere in Philadelphia where people aren't like pounding on your doors? Did you vote right now? Yeah. Fuck that.
And there are barricades everywhere because they are setting up for, I'm going to say, tomorrow
riots.
Final riots. Exactly.
Oh,
yes, that's what I meant. So that's, I guess, gathering is code for riot. So sure. So we had to, or followed traffic back onto the highway going the wrong way. The game is about to start. We are running late.
I love this because honestly, no, I love this because that's part of my usual directions to getting anywhere in Philadelphia is that I go the wrong way on the highway and I'm driving away from the city and I'm late for the fucking thing.
Yes,
so welcome to me providing you written instructions for how to get there.
I really appreciate you. That is super helpful to say because there was a moment where like, first of all, I'm not driving. My husband is because A, I can't see at night, and B, and I said to him, which is not true, nobody has cancer. Actually, That's not true. We are okay. If
Nobody
we
in the
miss
car
first
right
few
now with
minutes,
us.
Correct. Nobody exactly here. And then it was, it's not like Joel Embiid is playing anyway. It's a lot like we're going to get there with plenty of time. It seems our season tickets are in the family section.
Is there such a one? Okay.
We can't say anything, or all we can do is be positive light in that seat because odds are, for example, last night to Stewart's right, the coach's wife. So we are sitting there and I'm like, ugh.
How did you know? Is she wearing like a name tag, or you did Google, or you
Sort
each
of.
seat has like the thing on the back of the seat where it says Melissa, podcast extraordinaire, and then next to it,
So we got these seats, and there were empty seats next to us a few times. We're like, can we just move over? Like, we're going to be center this low? That's amazing. Like, are they? And they said, oh,
next we're seated on the hoop itself. Yes, this is a fucking big deal. I love it.
Hit me, bitch. Hit me. Yeah. So basically, the people that did come in very late had name tags on, but below it said family.
Really?
So we
Okay.
asked when we got our parking. I said, hey, that section. She goes, oh, yeah, that's for family. We hold seats. And if the players have family in town or have friends or wives or whatever, we stick them there. I said, okay, being have, as my daughter would say when I would yell, would you two behave? Mommy, I'm being have. Okay.
I'm glad to hear it. And I
that's
also
me
don't
being
trust
have.
it. Yes, in both cases. Yes.
Well, considering that the games are late, and if I don't take weed, I don't sleep. So I medicate, and you never know what happens with me when I medicate to sleep.
You get very, very aggressive and loud, and it's a
Only with
wonderful
you.
kind of no. But okay, I bring it out on you. Keep going.
You do. So this is my perfect transition for you. Athletes lately have been behaving poorly. Oh, by the way, I behaved beautifully while sitting next to the
False.
coach's wife, and she was
Liar.
lovely, and she brought friends, and it was terrific. And there's
Did you
nothing
exchange
like live
business
sports.
cards? Yeah, or is she coming
No,
to
but
your
I
house?
said I hope you come back. I hope I see you again because you are delightful. So, by the way, I'd like better seats than this. Can we meet the players? Oh, hi, you're lovely. See you next time. I'm saving my ask for later, okay? And I didn't even mention our podcast because I knew I was going to talk about this, and honestly, I never thought about it.
Even more reason to mention it. Continuing on.
2 Philadelphia athletes, one former, but still, in the news due to their behavior, their reactions, to other people's behavior. And I love that Charles Barkley used to say, I'm not a role model. Go fuck yourself. Like, don't look to me for role model. I'm a basketball player. That's all you should expect from me, and I'm good at it. So back up. Well, as I heard somebody say yesterday, oh, there's a class action lawsuit against the 76ers because people bought season tickets or bought tickets this year thinking they would see their franchise player of Joel Embiid. I know it's not a sports thing either, but and he is not playing. He's not playing back to back. He's waiting to heal from a knee injury. All of these things. And somebody's saying, oh, we should all sue and get our money back for Stop. I'm going to stop you now for love of the team. However, Joel Embiid did assault a reporter yesterday after the game because Hayes, it's this douchebag reporter who wrote an article about Joel Embiid. Everybody is. Even Barkley was saying, what are you doing? You got to play. You can't not play back-to-backs. You can't not do this. It's your job. You get over $100 million for doing this job. We are 5 games into the season. You have done nothing but sit in a very fly tracksuit on 2 separate cushions, so you are not only taller than everyone. Great. He shoved him because he had written an article that said, your dead brother, you want to raise your son to be like your dead brother, and Joel didn't even hear the rest of it. It was a total insult. You're not even playing. How could you possibly be a good example to? And then this dickhole who wrote this article shows up in the locker room, and Joel's like, no, and gives him a shove. One, performing badly, and my big fear is they're going to tell him he can't play in a certain number of games. Can we count those as time served?
Right.
Because he already did it. That said, you put another behaving badly on the board.
Well, mine is defensible, and that's what's troubling about it. So this Joel
Well,
Embiid business, I don't care enough about it to even. I sort of heard that somebody was getting flack about, like, vaguely as you're talking about it. I'm like, oh, that was him, and now I understand it. I'm more interested in the class action lawsuit douches who actually think that buying season tickets guarantees you the performance of a player like they're your employee. I mean, what do you think you're doing? Does that also mean if they lose, you get a class action lawsuit because they sucked? Like, I mean, what are we talking about? It's ridiculous. This popcorn is cold. Class action lawsuit. No. Okay, so Travis Kelce. And I don't know if it's Travis. It's one of the Kelces. Which
it's not.
Which
it's
the one?
Jason Kelce. It's Jason.
So who
he
cares?
Was an
so,
Eagle,
so
another.
Let me say it.
Well, no,
oh,
I'm keeping
better.
it in Philly.
Okay.
I'm keeping it in Philly. Yeah, go ahead.
Birds. Okay, so the one who is not dating Kelser Twift. You know who it is. The other one.
Wow,
whatever.
That was a good one.
Stop. Everybody knows.
You know
what
that's
I'm
why
saying.
people listen to our podcast
forward.
is because there's not
forward.
a fucking celebrity name that you've ever gotten right, and yours are better.
I'm going to do what my mouth does, and I'm just going to move forward without my brain. Okay? I'm just moving. It's just going to keep happening.
Go mouth.
So Kelson, stop it. Fucking name.
Jason
The very large
Kelce.
man who played football was walking down the street in some kind of an outfit, right? Like, he looked
He was
fashion-y.
wearing khakis. Yeah, he was wearing.
He looked fashion-y. I'm saying he wasn't in
Okay.
sport at all. He was somewhere
Right.
being a person, right?
Correct.
He was in no way. It was just a celebrity walking. That's all he was doing. And barely celebrity. He was a sporter walking. That's it.
Hey,
And
you can't say that because he's there to work though, but for a football game. So celebrity,
Sure.
a celebrity athlete doing athletic calling.
Okay. So he was there for a
he
professional
was there
reason.
on purpose.
Okay,
yeah,
cool. And none of that is relevant, so we're going to skip over that. He was
Okay.
walking in a crowd of college students. I believe it was at Penn State.
It
Yes?
was.
Okay.
Yes.
And they were bouncing around him, all with the phones in their hand, all jabbing verbal insults at him to get a reaction from him. So it's a tough situation to be in, right? He's walking, and they're not saying, hey, you're great. Hey, we love you. Hey, will you sign this? We're so happy you came to our campus. They're saying, you suck. You're, and all these verbal insults. And then one of them says, how do you feel about your brother being a bundle of sticks dating Taylor Swift?
Good
right?
reference, by the way. Good reference. A British.
Well, here's the thing. Growing up, the derogatory F word for homosexual man was treated like the word the. You didn't register that it was an insult other than you didn't want someone to say that to you, but in the same way that you didn't want them to call you a booger. Like, it didn't mean anything beyond, I don't want to be called a fart. I don't want to be called something that I don't like, right? So it was ugly. It was hateful, but it didn't carry the weight. Many, 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 many racist insults were common vernacular, and that takes a long time to undo. In the same way that I still say sitting Indian style and have to stop and say, oh, guess what? We say cross-legged because that's not what we're going to say. And some people can call it being overly sensitive. Guess what? Why is that a problem? It doesn't hurt me to be overly sensitive to insulting somebody else. Like, I don't want to do that. I didn't intend it that way. So back to the scene. So he's there walking, and someone says, how do you feel about your brother being... I don't get how he's gay if he's dating a woman. Okay, so even the insult was stupid.
Not just
it didn't make sense.
woman.
It doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So anyway, so this was just lobbed out there, and Kelce stopped, turned around, grabbed the phone of the person who was talking, and threw it straight at the pavement. And I say, good. Have fun. You want to come at me? I'll buy you a new phone. Or also, I won't, and fuck you. I would love to hear somebody, and I think he was completely justified in every single thing that he did. And I know that he's not. But guess what? That was a pretty good way. I think it was a good way to handle it, even though I can't say that out loud because I know it was the wrong way to handle it. And yet
Well, you have sons. That's why you feel like you can't say it out loud.
I know that I would turn my head away and say, okay. Years ago, when all the riots were happening, it was probably around George Floyd, right? Or I don't remember what it was. Everybody was running into the streets for some reason. There was a mother who chased her teen son to pull him out of the riots, and she pulled him out and she was slapping him in the back of the head with tears in her eyes saying, "Get the fuck home. What are you doing?" And it made the news. And I saw the thing and I thought to myself, I'm so grateful for that mother beating up her child in public because it was like, pay attention to keeping yourself safe. Right? You have to keep yourself safe. We all have to keep everybody safe, but your job is not to go out into the street and get shot protesting. Don't do it. Don't be stupid. So it's one of those things where, should he broke that kid's phone? I'm not going to say no, but I'm supposed to. That's all. That's as far up to it as I can go.
That mother was I told you, head on a swivel. Did you see me coming? No. And that is why I'm beating the shit out of you. You do not put yourself in harm's way. You write letters. You walk peacefully. You do not. This is
somebody
a
else
fucking
can
riot.
do this fight. Somebody else can do this fight. You let us do this fight for you. All of the collective us.
Two different things. I know that Joel was not drinking before going. He was emotional because of his brother, because of the fact that, by the way, I don't know, maybe he was drinking, maybe he was, impaired in a hint of a way. Penn State lost, by the way, to the Ohio State. It was not great, the whole situation.
If some random stranger, college kid, wants to come up to you and lob slurs that are public at your family, yeah, you're going to react. Even if he turned around and just put his finger in the kid's face and said, shut your mouth or something, that probably would, I guess that's better. But virally at the same time, it's like, you think you want to mess with me? You want to mess with me? What are you doing, stupid kid? So stop it. In the case of it, go ahead.
Everybody had a phone. Everybody was filming it.
Yeah.
This is happening to Jewish kids on campus all day, every day right now. Nobody has phones out, and their job is to put their head down and keep walking when they're not stabbed in the neck with a broken bottle. But still, just keep your head down and keep walking. People have been shouting shit at people since the beginning of time. I think when you add a little more muscle and you add some alcohol and you add like the hype of a team winning or losing, there's more to it than that. It's heightened and mostly men. Although I did just see a TikTok of a girl at a Georgia game fly over the seats to like beat the shit out of this huge, massive man, and his this is a woman, and her husband grabbed her from behind and lifted her while her feet were still running like a cartoon character over the chairs to bring her back. But it's mostly, like serial killers, it's mostly men. And right now it feels like it's mostly Philadelphia men.
Well, he didn't. First of all, the shove, I think, is not even anywhere in the same universe as the I take your property and break it. Like, those two things are completely different to me. And the reason has nothing to do with is it a shove or I take your property and break it, and more instead with these are two professionals who are having a dispute with each other versus I am a person and you are I'm a public figure and you are verbally attacking me for over nothing that I did. Like you're just causing me and the people I love harm. In the case of the basketballer, somebody, he that's your profession. People are allowed. People are frankly, the part of your job is that people are going to comment on the job that you do. So if you can't handle that,
thick skin. There's
if
no
you can't
rejection,
handle that,
sensitivity,
you don't belong.
dysphoria.
You don't belong in that industry. You need to understand that in the same way that when your performance at your job begins to slip, you will no longer have your job. These are the rules of your job. People will write about you. It may or may not be favorable. You are expected to perform at the highest level, and the second you stop, they will spit you out. That's nobody cares about your feelings. Sorry,
right, as
never have
slip,
and never will. Yeah,
as you slip, all of those people, all of those you fucking suck. Oh my God, they're so mean. You loved him yesterday. He missed that 3-pointer. You just called him an asshole with butterfingers. It's the nature of sports and fans and fanaticism that it goes from like high praise deity to you fucking piece of shit you put expletives. You put like this is not a G-rated show, right? Because my mouth just left the planet. You write that when you post this, right?
I think yes, we are explicit.
Okay, that ship has sailed.
I think we've been explicit since we've been talking about I don't know, sex acts since day one. Like I don't even think it has to do with the swearing. No, we're good.
Because I'm put off by my mouth right now, so I'll take it down. But they absolutely go from I worship you to I'm going to kill you and your mother. Like fans are crazy. Alcohol is involved. Betting is now so ingrained in everything. So between those two vices and just everybody's commitment to a team, it is crazy. So yeah, maybe. Well, both of them reacted to a family situation and not a performance situation. It didn't have to do with sport.
Is it though? And physically shoving someone because they wrote. The man didn't come up to him, microphone in face, heat of the moment.
He did.
And he asked him this insult. Your brother is dead. How do you feel? Like, was that? I thought this was responding.
How can you justify raising a? I think he did say something in the locker room.
So the question itself. So the shove was in response to an incredibly impertinent question, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
I misunderstood. I thought he wrote some article and then days later was in, and the guy just on sight of him had to somehow get handsy. Like, it's just ridiculous.
I think it's
beyond
both,
ridiculous.
actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a nature of the gig. I think it's a nature of, but what can they do to keep their cup from running over with, like, does somebody need to hurry up, suck him off real quick so he doesn't hurt someone? Are they not getting enough?
That's the thing. That's the thing. Do we need to talk about blowjobs for
sorry.
basketballers? Right? I don't understand.
And they don't get enough.
Can I just quickly, speaking of blowjobs, right? I've got to go there. I really, really do. What in the holy audible empire is Donald Trump doing to that fucking microphone? Former President Donald Trump simulated sucking off and jerking off a microphone when the microphone didn't work. Like, that's another one where I'm like, I don't understand what you think you're doing here. Why? Like, normally you would be the person denigrating others for wanting to do this behavior, right? You present an affinity for hypermasculinity, right? And so that anything involved in subjugating oneself toward the male member, right? What the fuck are you doing? It's just that simple. What are you doing? You're dancing to YMCA. You're doing this double jerk off dance every time you put your hands up. Let's pretend I'm sucking off this microphone. Like, why? Why would we pretend that? I don't get it.
Don't forget the crowd size. Size matters. Mine's bigger. Everything's bigger. My hands, my crowd. Like he's deficient. Obviously.
I'm not even gonna go to the obvious area of what if insert any other person did this, male or female, just completely like how. I'm not even gonna say like why are you able to get away with it. I'm not even gonna question that. We're just gonna say you are, and we're gonna accept that. And now I'm going to say, why do you want to? Like, what are you gaining from this?
Why is this your first action?
Why?
Always.
What are you gaining from this? Do your supporters and proponents like the idea? Like, who are you getting one over on by pretending to be the blowjobber? Like, who are you owning? What libs are you owning in this prison scenario where the man, a woman who did not
against us?
No, I mean, I get it's just not that deep. You don't get it. You're fucking elite because you think all these things. I'm like, actually, I'm not. I'm just trying to physically understand what I just saw, and it doesn't even compute. I don't get it. I don't get why you would want to put your brand name literally on a garbage truck like that. You get that you're driving around saying I'm garbage, and that's not the same as women who walk around and say, well, it is kind of women who walk around and say, I'm a bitch. Get it? I own the word bitch. You want to call me a bitch? I call myself bitch first. That doesn't really work. Then they'd also then don't go around and act as bitchy as they ever could possibly be. They're just simply saying your word has no power, and instead he's literally driving a garbage truck wearing garbage. Like I don't get the blowjob. I don't get the blowjob. Who accused him of blowjobbing? Who accused him of being gay? That he is coming back and say, "You want to see gay? I'm gonna suck off this microphone right now." Right? Who praised him for being gay? You want to see gay? I'm gonna suck this off right now. Like what? Why the gay? What are we doing? What's next? I don't even understand it. I'm so confused and I'm frightened. I'm confused and I'm frightened. Next. So don't you dare judge me, Lizzie.
So don't you dare judge me, Lizzie. Oh.
I'm 31 years old and I'm frightened. I have no prospects.
Everything comes back to Pride and Prejudice, if we're being honest.
God, I just, the whole gay microphone thing, because guess what? I love the gays.
Did you hear J.D. Vance saying, I think if we would be really successful with just the regular gays.
Oh, the normal gays would vote for
the
me.
Normal gays. The regular gays. And I'm like, wait, what? Do you mean, oh my God, you just outed yourself again for being deplorable and garbage. Like, Kamala's right. Sorry. By the time you hear this.
There's shades of gay. And we can identify them
but okay.
by who thinks sucking off this microphone is funny. I don't know. I'm curious how many gay folk,
regular gay folk,
how many long letter folk found their way into a Trump anything and thought it was cute and funny and frankly a shout out to Team Gay to pretend to suck off that microphone. Like who? That's what I don't understand.
He's talking to me. That's my president. He's talking to me with that microphone. That was our sign for vote for me.
I don't.
Carol Burnett tugged her ear for her grandma, and this fucking clown jerks off and blows a microphone. There I go again. Oh, it's this episode.
You are spooch focused this day. I'm not sure
if
it's
crazy,
every day.
Right?
What makes this day different than all other days?
Manish Chana. I'll do it in Hebrew.
Yes, perfect.
Hey, we're not going to... This comes out after the election, right? Election Tuesday.
Does it come
officially? Officially. Oh, boy. Look, you're making it... Make it worse, Rob. Make it worse.
I know you'll tighten all this up because there's a lot of stupid shit in there nobody cares about.
No, I love content, so let's go.
Where's John Buchanan? John Buchanan when we need a drop. He probably left us long ago when we started spreading hate on his boy, but you know what? We can still be friends. That's the whole point of America. Everybody gets to vote in private, in secret. You can do whatever vote you want to do. Just vote, right?
I love that campaign. I love that campaign. Yep. Your husband beats you on the regular and tells you if you vote for Trump, he'll fucking kill you.
Right.
Don't tell him. It's your secret. You go into that booth. Yes, honey, I did the right thing. I voted for Trump. No, I didn't. I'm a Kamala girl. Like, what is, you're encouraging, how about in that same ad, you end it with, are you a victim of domestic violence? Call this number. Like, what are you talking about? That you've got a partner you need to lie to about, fine, do it. Then let's have another conversation about a safe place for you. Your home is not it. Okay? Let's move you there. Moves.
And sometimes it's as simple as, we get into a skirmish, we get into an argument, we get into a huff. It makes the rest of the morning irritating on both sides over the way I load the dishwasher. It's sometimes it's that simple. And guess what? Your vote is more important than worrying about a hour-long, day-long, week-long, month-long, election-long skirmish. Just keep it quiet. I think the message is not your marriage can't withstand the truth. I think the message is don't let the inconvenience of a disagreement with people you love come in the way of you voting the way you wish to vote. And if it's easier to keep it quiet, we're giving you permission to keep it quiet. It's not a lie to keep some things private, I think is all that meant. And nobody's got 9 minutes to have this campaign message. So it's like, vote the way you want, shut the fuck up. Like at a certain point, we got to Travis Kelce this shit. Knock the phone to the ground. Come on, we got votes to get.
Oh, if only he had done that or said that, that would have been great. But they did not.
I did hear that Taylor Swift is rumored, Lady Gaga and Taylor Swift are rumored to play in front of the art museum in Philadelphia. So if you don't go to that.
Barricades. See also barricades. Yeah, they're up already. They're everywhere right now. And
let's get it.
That's kind of great.
Go.
Hoping for a landslide. So this podcast will come out on Thursday. Election day was Tuesday. Hey guys.
And holy hell. And can we just say we haven't made it yet because I already can predict that there is no winner as of Thursday. But guess what? There's not an election anymore. It's fucking over. We're in the chute of the slide heading toward freedom. So congratulations, you made it.
You made it.
You made it.
But Amy's going to make a prediction. Do you have a prediction?
I do not agree with my husband, who believes that this is a Stevie Nicks moment. Okay. I do not believe that is the landslide. I absolutely
I knew where you went with your Stevie Nicks moment.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I will not regale you with my personal, deeply connected tales of 2016, but I will tell you they inform this moment now. They inform this moment now. And my gut then was uneasy, and I tamped it down. My gut was uneasy that things were
I'm
in
not
my
tamping
state.
anything. I vomit every day now.
But I thought I'm going to listen to what I'm hearing all around me. And so the opposite is happening now. My gut is uneasy because I am every bit of positive encouragement, of which there seems to be much. I am consciously ignoring and simply girding myself for the fact that Donald Trump is very well positioned to win this election.
You have PTSD. Like, it is totally
I have
real.
polls. I have awareness. I have open eyes on the beloved state of Pennsylvania. I have open eyes on the beloved state of North Carolina. I have open eyes on the beloved state of Georgia.
I love content. As this comes out, you all know. I think it's going to be an election night situation done and done.
Answer.
I think
you
they're
think
going
it's
to
going to be an answer?
I do, but I also think maybe it goes into the morning. But I do think there are going to be a million lawsuits. But I do think they're going to declare.
So let's be clear. You think that Kamala Harris will win, and that we will have awareness of that win by the wee hours of Wednesday morning.
I do think that.
I'm just asking.
I do think that. I'm done talking about it because I know this drops afterwards, and you guys already know, and it's moot. All of it's moot. But
I look forward to being relieved. But I'm still in the trauma of that shit ain't coming. First of all, second of all, thirdly, and also, let me tell you this. I will shock you. My husband heard for the first time and didn't know even the name to attribute it to. Pink Pony Club on Saturday Night Live was the first time he heard that song ever. And he's like, and who is this woman? What's her deal? And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
My niece dresses her for Halloween. I'm going to send you a picture. You're going to say, is that chaperone or is that?
Exactly. To not even have awareness. Not, I like it, I don't like it. It got too big too fast. I'm sick of it. None of this. To be completely blissfully unaware. That is the country that we're living in. There are plenty of folk, well-informed and otherwise, who are living in their bubbles, living in their pockets of influence and information, right? That's where it is, gang.
But if you asked him, instead of Chaperone, if you asked him who won F1 and gave him any
it was
year,
on while we were talking about this. It was on in the background, and
but I wouldn't know that.
Right.
I wouldn't know
Lewis
anything
Hamilton
about that.
rode in the Honda Senna car as a tribute to Senna, and it was super moving. Right.
You're a unique person who has a foot, a toe, a something in all of those worlds, though. He's just telling you, I have two worlds. I work and I play sport. I play, watch, and manage sport. That's it. Those are his only focuses. And music, and I'm going to lean into pop culture, and I'm going to lean into common, I don't know.
Part of it is the speed with which the scandalous information happens anymore. You can't even keep up. So if you miss one, you miss five.
And they layer, right. And then they layer.
And so one is referenced on the other, so you sort of get the tail of it, but you don't even really know. The shit is flying so
Here,
fast.
For example, Jason Kelsey goes out and breaks the phone of I'm assuming, Penn State fan. It was at Penn State. Penn State lost. Right. So here's what happened.
I'm just going to go with student. Yeah. Okay.
Student. I'm going to say Travis Kelsey, adjacent to, makes another comment about it. And now this is now in
it grew.
his world. No,
we
it
connected
can,
a couple.
though.
We coupled a couple train cars. Okay, it could.
But that is what your husband would hear, because now a current football player, and even Jason, he'll know that story over the fact that Chapel Roan had to cancel some concerts. He doesn't know because it's not in his world. When would that ever hit his world? You don't even have small children home that would bring that to him while he has dinner with them. So
yes, the good
what are
old
you laughing
Chapel,
at? The family
Chapel
dinner.
Roan, the Chapel Roan small dinner conversation about Pink Pony Club, because that's where they're going to get
never
it.
mind.
Anyway, no, I
never
see
mind.
what you're doing. I hear what you're saying. I understand, but it's the speed of shit collapsing in on itself. It's like we're in a black hole, and I don't understand how there are no boundaries for anything anymore. It's like this happened before it's even finished happening. You don't get to react to it because the next thing is happening, the next thing is happening, the next thing is happening. Case in point, you know that Halloween is insane in our neighborhood. You know it. Okay.
I remember your table that you set outside far from the front door, right?
Right. Well, we have a long, anyway. So, okay. This year was so thick and so crazy. You couldn't, people drove to our street specifically.
What?
Parked on our, because they dump them and then they do the whole neighborhood like from our street. So, because we're at the back of the neighborhood. The only thing back there are homes. So we're in that cul-de-sac. So you come, and then each cul-de-sac is a party with fire pits and DJ and strobe lights and people dancing in the street. It's a party. It's a block party. So people would drive their cars, park their cars. Then so there's cars lining both sides of a neighborhood street. Gets a little tight when there's cars parked in the street. If you forget, right? So in that center area where now one and maybe a half a car could drive down, then they had a guy with like a mountaineering hunting kind of 4-person with doors and a roof, not a golf car, but like one of those ATV things where you're meant to drag lumber.
What's that called?
He's in that. Like not quite a bobcat, but something big and burly like that.
Yeah.
Like you're driving out to your hunting thing. And he had a flatbed trailer hooked up to the back of it. And he was driving around like the resort shuttle and bringing in loads and loads and loads of costumed teens on the trailer. So he kept bussing them in. We have pictures of it. So, and we have a new neighbor directly across the street. Right. We have a new neighbor directly across the street. This was like a college block party. It was that full, like a fraternity party. It was that crazy. She moved in. The other couple moved out. It's a single woman. She is a widower. She's grandmotherly age, right? No kids, no spouse. She was there. She brought a couple of friends, and they dressed up like 3 witches, and they did this thing where the 3 witches would tell your fortune, and then they had the kids. They made them each do a little dance, and they were taking pictures and like they were really into it. Like they had
Toil and
there.
Trouble.
Yep.
Okay.
Like the whole thing. So
right out of Shakespeare.
Everybody is going crazy, and I'm starting this. People started setting up at 3:30 in the afternoon because it was an event, and we had a conflict originally for Halloween night where we weren't even going to do Halloween. We were going to be out of our house. And I thought, well, I'm not going to leave something there just for it to get. So we're just going to turn the lights off and hope for the best. Conflict shifted. So now I'm home for Halloween and I had no candy. 3:30, people are setting this shit up. So I went
for the
to the
parade.
store.
You're fucked. Oh,
I went to the store and I thought, I'm going to do it. So I went to the store at 4 p.m. on Halloween. You understand? You get the time
There's
frame.
nothing left. Yeah.
It was
like
Christmas
one thing
candy. No, it was Christmas
Milk
candy. They had flipped it. It wasn't Thanksgiving candy. It wasn't fall harvest Brock's. It was a Christmas display with candy canes in the supermarket. Not Target, not Walmart, not big box store that's got lots of people and a national impetus to do this. This is the supermarket decided that you're fucked. There was and I wasn't about to buy Christmas candy. I wasn't about to do it. Right. So I totally zigged and zagged, and I went over and I got moon pies, if you've ever heard from that.
I'm going to stop you.
I gave out all moon pies. Anyway.
This is when Amy says, so I went home and I made my own candy.
I did not. I gave out moon pies. I decided.
Only because it was 4 p.m. If it wasn't 4 p.m., you would have made your own candy.
Normally,
admit it.
It's true. Well, normally I give out. Well, I started giving out full size a couple of years ago, and then everybody else went on the full size. Then I gave out, I think you remember one year I gave out Halloween whoopee cushions, and those were the biggest hit ever. Yeah. And then I gave out these little fortune things, and now I hear people give out potatoes. Like if I thought I would have done the potato thing. Have you heard about this? where
No.
people, they offer candy, and then you can have your choice if you can have candy or you can have a potato, and it is literally a bag
Oh, I did
of
hear that. I
potatoes,
think
and the kids go
a
crazy
bag
because
of?
they all, well, you pick up a russet. Everybody
Okay.
wants it. Then the
Okay.
kids take the potato because they think it's funny. So I don't even understand, but I will play potato. Anyway, I didn't have the
will
forethought
play potato.
to think about potato. So instead, I just got the moon pies because I could get a sizable volume of them. First of all, with that many people, we're 200 people deep. So you got to get 200 individual items just to be able to make it through the 4.5 hours of the deal. That's how it works. Our friends had 3
Where
people
did you get that many moon
in
pies?
another neighborhood. I got mini moon pies, and they were 10 a box, and they were on a buy one get one free for $2.69. So I could get 20 for $2.69. So I bought every single moon pie on the shelf because it was a volume deal. And the moon pie itself,
yes, it was.
The moon pie itself is large. I'm trying to help get a visual. It's a pretty big. If you were to hold your hand and make the letter C so that it looked like a letter C, that's how big the moon pie was. So it's bigger than like a fun size. Yeah. So I was able to get plenty of them, but still, and we still ran out because people at 9:00 were still coming.
I was going to say, do you have any left over? Oh my God. You ready for this? According to previous years of this podcast, there are 2 holidays that Melissa hates the most.
This is the one.
This is the one because it comes to you. The other one is July 4th because it's explosion and the dogs freak out and they're terrified and they molt and they won't go outside and nobody will pee or poop. Right. But this one, the mischief comes to you. Ask me how many times my doorbell rang this year. It's an even and an odd number if that helps you.
I can't even guess.
It's both even and odd.
I don't even know if it's low or high. Tell me.
0.
What?
0. We did
0
not have
is not even and odd.
single.
I can't talk about math. I can't. We broke up
I
so
did
long
not
ago.
A single trick-or-treater. Not one.
Why?
I do not question things that work in my favor, Amy. I just receive them.
But then you
and
sat
it
with
empties my
acid in
cup.
your stomach all night long with an expense that goes undelivered. You what?
I
This is the
put
saddest.
a TV table outside my front door with a basket that said treats full of small. I used to do full-size bars, but now I want it to all go away. I eat the full-size bars when left behind. So I put it out, and nothing disappeared from that. Nobody came to my street. It's the literal opposite of your street. And now I have a basket of candy to bring with me on Election Day to make all of the poll workers eat. So I don't have
not
to
get
bring
into
it home.
fist fights and have people blow up ballot boxes and all the rest of it.
You know
we
what?
had
That's a good
neighbors-
idea. I won't put it in the back for the staff. I'll put it right at the table so people could take it. Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe that'll soothe it.
I swear to you, I told you that my 2 elder children, eligible to vote elder children, already have done so via absentee ballot. Well, the barrage of information that comes to this house in their name is ridiculous. We got to, first of all, handwritten postcards, actual letters, incentives, scratch-offs. Did I tell you about the scratch-offs?
I just got a scratch off for my
Yeah.
son. They couldn't vote the years you asked us to scratch off. Like, what are you talking about?
It's
it was
a scratch
crazy.
off. See your voting history and scratch it off and see it, like all this fucking gamification of the thing. I guess it's great. All right. Now there's
For
a postcard saying, we can't wait to see you on election day. They've already voted. We can't wait to see you on election day. Just letting
Yeah.
you know there's going to be pizza and a DJ at the polling place.
I'm working a polling place, and I got the postcard that said DJs in the Pennsylvania voting locations. And I thought, we are fucking chaos. They are expecting twice as many as we've ever had before. And now you're telling me what is happening?
First of all, second of all, thirdly, and also, let me tell you this.
Dear listener, am I right? What empties your cup? What are you doing? What do you do with your leftover candy? Were you kind to your poll workers? All the things. There's so much more we wanted to talk to you about today, but
The good news is you made it. You made it through.
We did it.
You did it. You did it. You survived it, right? And for more armchair wisdom, right? Today is absolutely the first day of the rest of your life. It all is
hated
upside
it when my
from
father
here.
said that.
It's all upside. Today is your first day. You are absolutely starting on day 1 for this chapter of your life. You haven't lived any part of it All upside is coming. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You made it through the worst of it, which was the 2024 election. Could anything have been fucking worse? No. So now it's all upside.
Bad. I'm talking about it like it's over. It's not. It was bad. It was really bad. But we stuck together, dear listener, and that's how we got through. Tell us what happened by you. Write us. Thank you for turning us on today. I hope we turned you on in some way that did not have to do with jizz. Dear listener, we love you. Bye. Bye. I love cum content.